here we go tackling a moderate one. This often requires more techniques, so let's see how we do. Starting with the 9, that's not helpful, and the 8. Okay, so these two columns, I'm going to put that 8 there. This kills that row, that ends that column, so this is going to be in the top row, which is now going to help us see that this has to be in the middle row. We know that this ends that column and that row, so it's one of those two. And we know this is not possible, so it's one of those 3. Moving on to the 7s. Okay, so that column, that row, there's a 7. We have these two columns, so this 7's got to be in one of those. These two rows mean this 7 has to be here. And now those two columns, so this 7 has to be one of those two. On to the 6s. Now, we're going to get a locked set right here because these two columns are wiped out, so those are the 7 and the 6, period. We don't know which is which, but they are the 7 and the 6. We don't know anything else about the 6 really at the moment, so we're going to move to the 5s. Those two columns are not possible, so it's got to be there. This wipes out that column, so it's got to be either the top or the bottom. Now, this wipes out the top row, this wipes out that middle column, so this has got to be over here. Now's the key. That knocks out this one, which means that one has to be there. These two rows are knocked out, so this has to be in one of the top row. This knocks that out, so there's 4. I'm not going to notate that. Keeping it moving. These two columns are knocked out, so this 4 has to be somewhere there. Now, this is where it's critical that we know that these are the 7 and 6 and cannot be anything else. Because if we did not know that, we would knock out this column, we'd knock out this row, and we'd say it could be 1, 2, or 3. But we know it cannot be those because they are the 7 and the 6. So therefore, this column is knocked out by the 4. This column is knocked out by the 7 and the 6. That's knocked out by that 4, and that is where that 4 goes. Now those two columns are knocked out, so this 4 is either high or low. This 4 still has a lot of places it could be, anywhere on the top row or here, so we're going to leave it for now. This knocks out both of those rows, so we're going to notate, yeah, it has to be on the bottom, and this leaves too many possibilities open, so we're going to leave that alone. To the 3s, these two columns are knocked out. This row is knocked out, so there's that 3. These two rows are now knocked out, so it's got to be in the top row, one of those two. These two rows are knocked out, and this 3 knocks out to that column, making that and then forcing that to be the 3. And so now we have these two rows knocked out, this column knocked out, and there's that 3. To the 2s, we now know this 2 has to be in this column because these 2 are already knocked out. We know it has to be in this column and not in the bottom row because of that. Don't know a whole lot else, so we're going to keep it moving. These ones knock out those 2 rows, so that's there. This one knocks out that entire column, so that means it has to be one of those, and it becomes a locked set with the 1 and 8. So we know that that's where the 1 and 8 are, and no other numbers can be noted in those 2. Now, that knocks out that row, that knocks out that row, and that knocks out that column, so bang. And now we've got both of these columns knocked out. We know this one has to be there. Back this direction, we've got both of these rows knocked out and this column, so it's got to be there. And there's that final 1. Back to my 9s. Not a whole lot more, but look, because we know those are the 7 and the 6, that knocks this out, and it's got to be there. Now this knocks that out, and it's got to be there. We know it's got to be on this side because that's all that's left. And so this must be in this column. Ooh, we know even more. Look at this. This 9 knocks out this column. So it's got to be in one of these 3 middle or upper rows. And this has to be in one of these 3 middle or upper rows. The only place where the 9 can be in the bottom row is right there. This knocks out this. It's got to be in that left-hand column, which means that this has to be in the middle column. That's about all we can get out of the 9s at the moment. Moving to the 8s. Now we've got this 8 is blocking out this whole column, so this is our 8. Now we've got both of these columns blocked out. That one blocks out the top row, so there's that 8. Now we've got both of these rows blocked out. This blocks out that column. Boom and boom. 7s, we're in the same position. We've got a matched set, but we don't know which is which yet. 6s, we know we got that there, but look, now the only place left for 6s is down here. This now knocks out that, and so we know that's where that 6 is. Now we know that row's knocked out, that row's knocked out. This is where that 6 is. We know this 6 has to be in that column. We know that's knocked out. This is knocked out. This has to be in the bottom row, which means that row and that row's knocked out. And this one has to be here, which means that one has to be there. We know this knocks that out. This knocks that out. So this has to be one of those 2, which means that column's knocked out and this has to be there. So lots of forward progress on that. The 5s, see those 2 are blocked out. That's the only possibility left. We now see that it has to be in this bottom row, which makes it a lock set with that 4, which means the 7 gets kicked out and has to be up there, and that 7 has to be down there. I'm going to go back to the 4, take a look. This knocks that one out, so this has to be there. These 2 are knocked out, so this one has to be the upper one, which means those 2 rows are knocked out. This one's that one, and this one's that one. We still have those to figure out. To the 2s, this is the only one left. It's got to be there. Only one left. Got to be there. That knocks that out. Got to be there. That knocks that out. That knocks that out. Only there left. That knocks that out. That's the yes. That's now a no. That's a yes. That makes that a no, and that a yes. So, to the 9s, last one. That knocks that out. Gotta be that one. That knocks that out. Gotta be that one. Gotta be that one. 6s, last one. Can't be that. Must be that. 5s, can't be that. Must be that. Can't be that. Must be that. Last one. And the 4s. And that's a moderate puzzle for you.